Frank in Tucson, Arizona. This is freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. I am the hardest working man in the optical industry. My name is See More Better, but call me Mo. Mo Better, because I might be seeing Mo Better, looking Mo Better, and show everyone else how I bring that loving feeling back to glasses. When I cut Frank's prescription polarized green G-15 lenses with the back surface Duravision Sun anti-glare for his own, this is, I love saying this, the POF, not S, POF as in Frank, the means patient's own frame. This is the Oakley 9127, the Pitbull. This is a discontinued frame, so I cannot get it for anyone, but if you can get one yourself, send it to me and I'll cut the lenses for you. And before I get started, to be frank, I would have to change my name from Mo Better. Okay, so because of the curvature, the high curvature of this frame versus a regular ophthalmic frame, which is almost like 45-degree angles at the corners, I almost know from experience this one is not going to trace. So I need to trace just the lens, of which I've got a tool here. I'm going to do things a little differently. This video is going to take much longer than most, even for the prescription ones, because the ones with the high curvature, I always go slow on. So I'm going to put 2 dots on the lenses. I have a graph behind me. I want to make sure it's on a straight line. And I hold it up so I can use the wall as my background. I need a light background instead of the black to put, trying to put black dots on a, all right, let's do this again. Putting black dots on a white background is a lot easier than putting black dots on a black background. And of course, none of it's easy now. Okay, let me do this again. Did I mention this video is going to take longer? That's just because of me. I am a bit of a perfectionist and I want everything to turn out perfect for Frank. Even if this was his first time purchase, which is not, he's gotten about 3 pair from me. I want number 4 to be extra perfect. So I put the 2 dots on there. I'm going to take the lens out of the frame. I have this little thing that acts like the tracing element, the little chuck. Hey, Chuck. And the reason why I put those 2 dots on there, there's a line on here that I'm going to line it up with that. Make sure it is perfectly straight, because Frank has at least 1 full diopter of astigmatism on his left eye. He has 1 on his half a diopter on the right and a full diopter on the left. And I'll explain all that later. But first, I need to program his shape into the computer so that years from now, should he ever need new lenses for this frame, I can mail them right to his home. I'm going to be tracing the right lens. Hit the start button. It's going to ask me what the width is between the lenses, which is 18 millimeters, so I can just hit the check mark. The little stylus is going to pop up, go around, trace the outside of the right lens. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy any frame that I offer and you'll receive 1 free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or unused health savings account flex dollars, you can get reimbursed for your purchase. Now, I do not accept any health insurances, vision insurances, but what I can do is provide to you, upon request, an itemized receipt that you can mail to your email or mail, print off and mail to your insurance company, and they will reimburse you in the form of a check. Now, the other nice thing, before, if you wanted to use a health savings account flex card, I would have to take that over the phone because my website uses PayPal, which you can use any MasterCard, Visa, Discover, and American Express to pay for, or you can just bypass PayPal and use any credit card. But flex cards are a little bit differently. But now my website, in the coming days, at the time of this viewing, by the time you watch this, you'll be able to just use your flex card directly on the website. How cool is that? So, at least that's cool for me. I don't know about y'all. So, move on to the next screen. It's going to ask for the pupillary distance, which is 30 for the right eye and for the left. So we've got it at 30. I want to raise the optical center height up to 22. So I'm going to take the right lens. Prescription reads -2 1/4, -50 at 70, -2 1/4, -50 at 70. Turn this on, turn the axis wheel to 70. Take the right lens out of the packet. Oh, look at the curvature of that bad boy. So, place the lens into, let's see if that's going to be the right lens. That's going to be the outside. The thickest part of the lens is always the outside. Put the power drum on, -2 1/4. That's a medical term. I'm not sure what quata means. Should have been paying attention in number school. Okay, come on now, come on. I gotta get everything lined up just perfectly. Why are you dropping down? Don't be dropping down like that. Okay, I'm gonna put 3 dots on the lenses. I see 1. I see 2. I see 3. Okay, and this is the right lens. And as you know, in my videos I always like to highlight the powers of the lenses so you know you're getting the manufacturer's original packaging. This is the right. It's a single vision lens. It is a polarized polycarbonate lens. It has the Duravision Sun UV anti-glare protection. And I'm going to highlight the prescription. Let's do the same thing for the left eye. I almost know, because again, the outside of the lens is always the thickest part, skinnier there. So, turn the axis wheel from 70 to 155. Put the lens in. Power is -275, so I got to change the power. Find the optical centers. Check the astigmatism correction. That lines up perfectly. Put 3 dots. I just turned this on. Hopefully the ink will settle on there. I see that one. Let's start with the center. That's the most important. That one. And that one. And this is the left lens. Same thing. I want to highlight the left package. The left lens, these are single vision, meaning it's not any type of bifocal polarized polycarbonate. I forgot, it's got the G-15 on the outside corner. I got to highlight that. And the Duravision Sun back surface anti-glare. Highlight the prescription. If you guys missed any of that, let me recap. Oh, it's a bad joke. But did I mention free bad jokes for the purchase of every pair of glasses made? So, this is a block, or as I like to call it, Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting. So I've got 2 stickers here. The black side is the sticky side. Clean up as I go. I was dropping that into the trash can. Place the sticker onto the first block. Throw it on the platform. Now pull the paperweight to make the black side sticky. That silver button on the back is a magnet. It's going to do its job twice. The first time it's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the arm. And the reason why I put those 3 dots on there, it tells me that, ooh, isn't that cool effects. So, polarized block glare. You don't get it from this side, only when you look through the front of the lens, because that's the force. LCD screens are a glare source, so that's why I make some really cool special effects on the screen. When you look out, you don't see that. You see the polarization get dark right about there. But the reason why those dots are on there, it tells me that the lens is oriented in there just perfectly. So I'm going to get everything laid out. Actually make sure the lens is large enough to fit. Make sure all 3 dots are lined up where they're supposed to be. Hit that button. The arm's going to come down, place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing now for the lens that ain't right. And I've actually got this one upside down. So, this lens has the same power this way as well as this way, but I know the thickest area is always on the outside, and for the left lens that's going to be this side. So get everything laid out as such. Same pupillary distance, same optical center height, still making sure that it's got the same, that it's large enough to fit into the frame. Sorry as I concentrate. Look at me, I forgot to put the block on there. Okay, let me start all over. Go back to the right lens. Oops, hang on, I gotta hit this button. Bring up the last thing I did. Hit that button. Block. Now pull the paperweight, make the black side sticky. Line up the magnet with the other magnet there in the arm. Line everything up as such. Make sure it's large enough to fit, and it is. Now hit the button and the block should stick to the left lens. So this is the tracing element, this is the blocker, this is what's known as the edger. It weighs 200 pounds, it costs $40,000. I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it in your private plane, and then you can cut your own lenses while you're flying around this great country of ours. But the actual cutting wheel is this diamond crusted wheel that's going to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center has the V-shaped bevel. It's going to put the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now, I'm going to wake up the computer. Job ID number 3450. So it just transfers the data from here to this side. Now, these are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, high index plastic, or Trivex, I would select that. Usually I do everything on automatic, but I'm going to do the hand because I'm going to do this manually. I'm not going to polish the edge of the lens. And I'm only going to put a safety bevel on the rear back surface of the lens. The other thing I do, which is why it's going to take longer, I'm going to start off a little bit large because I know from experience, anyone's with a high wrap, I always like to start large and work my way down. So, press the sticker on there firmly. Now the magnet's going to do its job a second time. It's going to attach itself to another magnet there in the chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I just don't know this machine well enough to call it chuck. Did I mention free bad jokes? And Secret Agent 2840 is going to complain about the door and justifiably slow. No, I've not cleaned it, as he can tell. So the lenses are going around tracing the shape of the stylus, as I should say, the white stylus are tracing the shape of the lens. What I'm doing is I'm going to manually tell it where to place the bevel. So with this one, I could put it where it follows the front of the lens into the frame, and I like the way that's showing. But let's just see if I follow the base curve. It can actually follow the contour of the actual curvature of the lens itself. And I'm just looking at the thickness going all the way around, and I think I might just pick that. It's an 8.2. Can you guys see the 8.20? And I could do a percentage where it's 50-50, but I don't like the way that's gonna, if that's the bevel, half the lens is gonna stick out the front and half on the back. I don't like the way that looks. I could move the bevel backwards on the lens, which will make the lens stick out the front of the frame. I can't imagine why I'd want to do that. So this is just the natural one. Yeah, don't like that either. And here, if you can imagine this lens, if you were to butterfly it, cut it right through the center, flip half of it up, half of it down. That's what you see right here on this side. So, but I think I'm going to stick with the base curve. It's going to start, this green arrow shows the thickness, if you look there, of the lens at every point. And it's close to 1 millimeter all the way around, so I think I'm going to keep that. It is going to force some of the lens out of the back of the frame, but it's not going to be seen because of the thickness of the temple. So let's keep everything on the front bevel. And I always like to take a red pen, put an asterisk and say cut on 8.20 front bevel. Now this is not his permanent record card, but I will write this on his permanent record card so I know exactly how to cut the lenses going forward in the future. Just making sure that's the left lens. Yes, it is. Alright, I'm going to hit the green start button. The cutting wheel starting up. The lens is going to drop down onto the cutting wheel. Now the water you see flickering in the background is there to catch the optical sawdust. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, meaning that no water sprays onto the lens while it is cutting. Unlike plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex that all cut wet, meaning that water sprays onto the lens for those three materials for the duration of the cutting cycle. Now water will spray onto Frank's lenses, but only for the last 20 seconds to wash away the optical debris that you see beginning to form. Polycarbonate lenses are 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics grade lens material, the same lens material that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones and their Oakleys to protect their eyes from shrapnel and from flying debris. It has 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive, so you have 100% UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. Unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that have to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun, this is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. In fact, Zeiss offers the most complete UV protection all the way up to 400 nanometers, more than any other lens company. That's why they have partnered with the American Cancer Society, because they offer the most complete UV protection. Now I was just going around double checking everything to make sure there's enough room to place the bevel where I told it to. Look at cleaning all that schwarf off your lens. So it will drop down to the bevel wheel. Making some hideous sounds. I am putting it to work today. Now, I know these lenses look thick, but it's only because of the edges. The actual the center of the lens is the thinnest point, and it gets thicker at the edge as you move out. This is the left lens. This will be the nose. This is the edge. Of course, you're not going to see any of that in the frame. But the biggest thing is the curvature. I have to match. Add that to my sticker collection. I have to match the curvature of the lens itself so it fits into the frame perfectly. Most eyeglass lenses that are too flat will come out this way. So it's getting the safety bevel on the back surface of the lens. Now, if memory serves me correct, Frank works outside there in Arizona and needs some really good sun protection. You get your own personal sun there in Arizona. It follows you around wherever you go. So I'm going to take the lens out, dry it off. The other cool thing, the Polarized is a laminate, just like a linoleum or something on your countertop. You can see that polarized layer on the front of the lens that's sandwiched and glued on, imbibed. I'm not an English major, although I did study English for 12 years in school, and I feel like I no longer speak it with an accent. Alright, so fingers crossed this is going to fit first time around. I'm going to tuck the lens in at the outside corners, press out the nose, and no, it does not fit, so I'm going to take it down about 1/10 of a millimeter until it snaps in there. Let me go ahead and get some of that optical sawdust off, drop that in the bottom. There's a little hole that takes it down. Now, water recirculates from the tank below up, but it'll catch that in the trap. I'm going to go down about 1/10 of a millimeter, hit the retouch button. You can always cut more wood off of a board than add it back on, so I always start large and work my way down till it fits perfectly. I cut every pair of lenses that get shipped worldwide, so you want a perfectionist like me to cut your lenses for you. Now, as I mentioned earlier, my machine costs $40,000. There is the next one up from here is $80,000, and it can do a special type of bevel called a step or a shelf bevel. And for some Oakley frames that have a little lip on the inside, I have to outsource that to the Zeiss lab for them to do for me. They have the $80,000 and $100,000 machines that can put that type of bevel on there, since I cannot do it myself. Now, once this thing is paid for, the machine about $700 a month payments on this thing. Once it's paid for, then I can buy the $80,000 machine that can do that step bevel. Not that I want to. I'm hoping to use this thing for many years to come, says the guy who has a 23-year-old car with 260,000 miles on it. I do just over 10,000 on a car because I'm always at work. I never go anywhere. But I want to get the mileage out of this thing till the wheels fall off. Alright, get all the optical sawdust off the edge of the lens. I'm going to tuck the front bevel into the side of the frame here. Push down. And I still got a little bit more to take off. It's bowing at the front, which means it's a little too large, so let's take another 1/10 of a millimeter off. It's a corny saying, but the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra at the beginning. Again, I start large and work my way down. Since Frank is many states over, it's not like he lives next door and can come over, and I could take a little bit off by hand on the handstone. I've got to make sure these are perfect every time. That's why Frank is back for his 3rd or 4th purchase from me, because he knows his lenses are going to turn out perfect. This gives me the time to say that I went to opticianry college, passed the state board exam. Some states require licensure, some don't. I am in a licensed state, so that's why I had to go to college for this. So I understand the complexities. Nothing that the people who work in unlicensed states can't learn this. But I'm tested on this before I can even get out of school. Of course, I worked in the field while I was in school, but I've been doing this for about 22 years now. I've personally cut over tens of thousands of pairs of glasses. Each one of them perfect. That puts a lot of pressure on me, but that's okay. I like the pressure. Alright. In fact, I've started designing my own frames. I'm going to take things to the next level. I'm even going to start designing them for colleges, universities, sororities, fraternities. So you'll see frames in those colors coming up soon. I need to do something with this amount of wrap though. Okay, so tuck it in at the outside corner. Push down. Yeah, I still want to take a little bit more off of that. So let me take one more 1/10 off, and I think we'll have it then. But I have my Christian eyewear collection that I am wearing. Comes with a cross on the side, and these actually come with a polarized magnetic clip on it. You think I'd be prepared enough to have a clip ready to show you, but no, I leave mine in my car. Now I do have the transition lenses, but they don't work in a car, so that's why I keep the clip there. When I get in the car, I put on my seatbelt, I put on my clip. When I get out of the car, I take off my seatbelt. My southerner, my inner southerner is coming out. My seatbelt, and I leave the clip in the car. But I'll be designing some really cool colors for this frame coming up soon. Some special edition series, and that's what makes it fun. I'm really embracing the designing aspect. After so many years in the profession, to look at it new for the first time is really invigorating. Doing a lot of new things. I've got the new website that went live on New Year's Eve. That way I can add all the lenses from Zeiss, Essilor, Shamir, try and get some Hoya product up there, which is another lab. I get requests for all different types of lenses, and I want people to be able to select what they want. Alright. Again, dry everything off. Make sure all the optical sawdust is off the edge of your lens. Then I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner. Press down at the nose. It snaps in. Yeah, that's fitting a lot better this time. So let me go ahead and start flipping this over to L. Now I did go down 1/10 of a millimeter. The left lens is a little bit stronger. I may have to take it down some more, but we'll see. Place the lens into the chuck. Hit the start button, the door closes, the clamp shuts, the lens will be traced again just like before. But I'm going to mark on here that I took it down 1/10 of a millimeter for the right lens. I may have to do more for the left, so I bet you guys didn't know that's why there's an R and an L underneath the barcode, that if I have to take things down or larger to know next time how to cut it. So again, we're still on the 8.2 base curve. Hit start. The cutting wheel is going to start up, the lens will drop down and start getting cut there. So let me go ahead and take this block off, pull the sticker away, add to my sticker collection, come down here to my lensometer, put it in over, is the dot still there? The water, I can put a new dot, it doesn't matter. Turn the axis wheel back to 70. Put it in. Before I forget, let me add the PD back on there. But read the power, and I am getting -2 1/4. That's because Frank's prescription reads -2 1/4, -50 at 70. So 2 1/4 is 2.25 diopters. The unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled DIOPTER. It starts at 0 and goes up or down in quarter increments. So 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1. Frank is on the 9th rung of a ladder. Frank is farsighted. That's why there's a minus sign. His lenses will minify the image down to the correct size. Now, once the image is the correct size, he has half a diopter of astigmatism correction. So let's check that second curvature. And we end up at -275, 1 tick mark away from 3, going away from 2 towards 3. That's because he has two curves, -2 1/4 here, another half a diopter steeper, and this 90 degrees away from this meridian. And it's how we line those two curves up to make everything nice and crisp. Uncorrected astigmatism makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. Think of it as the fine-tune knob. So these first two numbers are real values to be concerned with. This last number could be anywhere from 0 to 180. So his left eye, -275, which is where we end up when we add the two like signs together. But then the total power for his left eye is 375 when we add in his astigmatism correction. Now again, I do not sell the Oakley 9127 Pitbull. I sell many other Oakleys. In fact, as an authorized Oakley dealer, there's not a Oakley frame I cannot get for you except the discontinued ones. But the polarized lenses are 124. The Duravision Sun back surface anti-glare is 69 for a total of 193 tax-free. The reason I point that out, a lot of people on the internet are having to charge tax. I'm in North Carolina. North Carolina considers eyeglasses a medical device, so I don't have to charge tax on medical devices here in North Carolina. If you were to buy these glasses from someone in another state, you would have to pay tax on that. So that's that much more money Frank gets to keep in his pocket. By the way, if you'd like to see more of the Christian eyewear frames like I'm wearing, go to christianeyewear.com and just do a search for Philippians. This is model number Philippians 413, which is I can do all things through strength, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do all things except speak properly. I think I'm due some more caffeine. Where's my coffee? I was told that a yawn is a silent scream for caffeine. My New Year's resolution, there's several of them. I was going to learn Spanish, I was going to exercise, learn about website SEO, learn some more about contact lenses, and I was going to give up coffee. Yeah, I don't know, I must have been crazy or delusional to think I was going to give up coffee. Alright, so I'm going to dry everything off. Get all the optical sawdust off the edge of the lens. Let's go ahead and see if this fits first time around, or if I have to take this side down some more. And I put the PD on there, but let me darken that some more so you can follow along at home. And again, if you guys missed any of that, let me recap. Oh, I know it's a bad joke, but you'll be telling it tomorrow. So I'm going to pop out his original lens. Let's see if these are polarized. I can't tell on these, but we will see. Actually, it does say it on there. I'll show you again in a little bit how you can tell if a lens is polarized or not. Yeah, so that fits in there well, so I can feel that one coming off. PD still on there too. Let me see if I can dry this lens off. Did I just wipe that off? I did. Okay, I'll put it back on there. We're going to spin the axis wheel to 155. This is water-based ink in here. That's why I use the pen to darken it. I'll put the PD back on there. Again, the power. When I read the power, I'm getting minus 275, one tick mark away from 3. He has one full diopter of astigmatism correction, and we end up at... Wait, hang on. Yeah, overshot it. At 375. 275 minus 1 is 375 in the red numerals. So, let me darken that again. And again, if you guys have missed any of that, I'm just going to let you say it this time. So, we've got pupillary distance of 60, optical center height of 22. Let me write that on there that I cut these lenses at 22 millimeters high. So, I'm going to hold this up to the white background so you can see. Place the PD stick against my thumb. When we hold it up, we're getting 60 millimeters. The optical center height, not to the bottom of the lens, but to the middle of the deepest part of the frame, because again, the lens goes halfway in there. We're getting 22 millimeters there. 22 millimeters there, so that is cut perfectly. Now this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lenses, I mentioned that there's free shipping anywhere in the US. So you get these tax-free and free shipping. But when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance these could fit too loose or too tight. Or there's a 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. But because these are, and normally I would get a brand new frame, make sure that it was in standard alignment, but because these are Frank's frames that he's been wearing, they probably fit him pretty well, so I'm not going to adjust the fit on the counter. So, let me remind everyone that if you want to keep learning about the types of frame and lenses that I cut, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell icon so you'll get notified every time there's a new frame and lens combination as they become available. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter as Free RX Lenses, or on Twitter is free RX Lenses. So Free Prescription Lenses on Facebook and Twitter, Free RX Lenses on Twitter. If you have any questions, go to the Contact Me page of the website. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. I'm just going through the motions. Frank, I'm sorry. I've just got a lot of work I need to do, and I should be concentrating on this. You can leave a question or comment in the comment section below, but what I was thinking when I was trying to talk at the same time is I was going to show you how to tell if lenses are polarized. If you have a known polarized lens, which this one says polarized at the bottom from Oakley, you hear the term polar opposites. Now he's removed the brown lens and put the G-15 in. When you hold up one lens in front of the other, you can see through them. When you turn them 90 degrees apart, it blocks the light. Hence the term polar opposites. That's how you can tell if a lens is polarized or not, when they're 90 degrees away from each other. But Frank, thank you so much for your repeat business over the years. This time you had me install the Polarized G-15 lenses with the Duravision Sun back surface anti-glare coating into your Oakley 9127 Pitbull frames. And now hopefully everyone else has gotten a chance to see how I bring that loving feeling back to glasses. Thank you.